Welcome everybody to another one of the Explore More Travel Sundowner sessions. This is our fourth session with one of our industry partners and longtime friend of mine, Damian Wrigley, who's the general manager of Pearl Valley Golf Estate. Damian, thank you for joining us, man. It's good to have you with me today.
Thanks for having me, man. Pleasure to be here.
Good. I know it's not quite sundown yet, but we're making a little plan while you're still at the office before you head home. But as per tradition, I'm having a little whiskey today. I thought I've drank so much red wine during the lockdown period that we'll try something different. So it's actually not a local whiskey. Don't tell anybody. But it's one of my favorite Japanese single malts, and it's a whiskey called Nika. Damian, I see you've got a little red wine from the Franschhoek area. What you drinking there, bud?
I actually do. I'm opening with a glass of the Valley of Life, which is produced on site. And you know, at a time like this, where it's definitely getting much cooler here in the Paarl Winelands area, you know, it's certainly a good choice for now. And we're really looking forward to level 3 opening up, so we can actually move some wine.
Yeah, and play some golf, hopefully. But we'll still see. But we're still not sure. Yeah. I had a look at some info coming through today, and there's still no real info about what's going to be allowed in terms of sports. So it's one of those things. We'll crack on. But I think let's leave COVID-19 for the moment, because it's always it's a relevant talking point at the moment. But I'd rather start off by talking about Pearl Valley and also yourself and your background and how you've progressed over the last couple of years. Maybe you can give us an idea of your background in the golf industry.
Sure. How far do you want me to go back, I mean,
as well, let's not start at your playing days as a teenager when you used to destroy the guys out at Clovelly. But
I think for me, it really kind of what really kind of sort of personified my career and sort of started putting it in the right direction is when I made the decision, you know, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, to do my PGA. And you know, going through the PGA, doing the 3 years and qualifying, you know, meeting some really cool people along the way. One of those was Chris Bentley, and we just kind of hit it off. And you know, 3 years ago, there was a position available here at Pearl Valley, and I think they used him as the consultant at the time. And he gave me a call up out of the blue and just said, you know, what you're doing, I know you're doing some good work there at Clovelly, but you know, would you be interested in moving out to Pearl Valley? And I said, absolutely. I mean, I wrote in a journal probably 6-7 years ago, you know, that I would love to work at Pearl Valley. It would be my, you know, my top place to work. Pearl Valley, Fan Court, those were the two I would move to tomorrow, basically. And I said, absolutely. And I came here and I met with the team, and I really liked the facility. I liked the feel of the place. And I started here as the director of golf in the start of, it was about 3 years ago, the start of 2017 or whatever it was, January. And, you know, kind of 2 years in, they sat me down and said, listen, you've done a great job with golf. Why not, you know, take on the GM position and look after the club and the facilities and the course. And you know, I've been doing that now for probably just over a year. And I must say I've grown immensely in the time that I've been here. And just simply because I'm surrounded by so many, you know, professionals that they just kind of pull you along. You know, you grow immensely here.
Yeah, I mean, you've taken some big steps in your career, and I knew as soon as you landed that role at Pearl Valley that it was going to suit you and suit what you're all about, and a lot of hard work. And you've done your PGA course now, plenty studying after hours, I'm sure, but definitely worth it. And yeah, tell us about that course quickly. I mean, South Africa has a rich tradition in seriously good golf professionals, so you know, it must have been a bit of a challenge, but do you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it immensely. It taught me a lot about the, you know, the professional business of golf, but also a lot about the golf swing. And you know, I became a better player through the course. The course is, you know, it's quite geared to those that want to make a career in golf, particularly the teaching side of things. But I think now that, you know, since Ivano's been CEO, I mean, it's just gone from strength to strength. I mean, Andrew Gunn's doing a fantastic job on the educational side. You know, they're really picking it up a notch. And I think the professionals that are coming through the course at the moment are really, really good. They're getting a good found basis of the industry, and at least the industry is being populated with the right kind of people, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if you look at the guys that are working their way through the ranks and working at the top golf courses, there's a seriously awesome and talented bunch of guys.
There's also been a big, I'm sure you would have noticed as well from your side, is that there seems to be quite a big trend now towards hiring PGA professionals as GMs at clubs. Whereas, you know, that kind of wasn't really always the case before. You know, the PGA was kind of seen as the head professional, taking green fees and selling cart grounds and things like that. Whereas now, you know, they're almost kind of viewed as professional bodies in the industry. And, you know, the PGA qualification together with the CCM through COMASA, the Club Managers Association, is probably a very well-rounded, you know, individual. And that's a good move on the club's part.
Yeah, cool. Right, let's talk about Pearl Valley. It's been around for many years. How long actually has it been open for? I try to remember. I was kind of guessing.
In 2003.
Yeah, the early 2000s. Yeah. And so it's definitely matured over the last couple of years. You know, it's had, I think, 3 South African Opens.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
2008 and 2009.
Yeah, okay. I can't believe it's that long ago. I still remember going to watch all those events. So yeah, so it's had a good history in terms of tournament play, and then members. Your membership must be growing, you know, every year. You've got the Val de Vie estate that is right next to the golf course. When I introduced you, is your role actually at Pearl Valley, or is it Pearl Valley and Val de Vie? What's the correct terminology?
It's just Pearl Valley. So the estate is run by a management company, the development company. We've got an MD who basically looks over the whole estate, and my portfolio is, as GM, is just of the Pearl Valley clubhouse and the facilities, with a big focus on the golf course.
Cool. Let's talk about the golf experience then. Before, I've got some incredible images that you sent through earlier, and I can't wait to share those by a very talented photographer, Mark Sampson. So we'll look at those in a moment. But in terms of the golf experience, you know, you've got an incredible golf clubhouse. You know, you drive up after going through the security, and then all of a sudden you're hit by this building, and it really is spectacular. So, you know, from a golfer's point of view, what do you think makes it a little different and up a notch from the other courses, without dissing the other courses, because we have got some great courses, but what makes it a bit different?
There's so many good courses nowadays, Lauren. I mean, I think what makes it different is, you know, the location. It's you know, it's set in the winelands. It's surrounded by beautiful scenery. You know, by the Simmonsberg mountain range, the Drakensberg mountain range are, you know, they're outstandingly beautiful. I think the tone set kind of as you pull off the R301 and you drive down the Nicholas Boulevard to the gate. It's just over 1 kilometer in length, and it kind of builds up the excitement of the fact that you're coming to play, you know, a top 5 course. And then when you get to the gate, you know, the guys put a lot of effort in keeping the staff sort of trained and welcoming, and you really get that feeling. And then the drive up to the club, as you say, is really special. And that's something that we really tried to, you know, use a lot more of. And, you know, where in the past they didn't want to encourage visiting golfers to drive up the ramp, you know, to the Porta Crochet. How do you say that? I always get it wrong. I always Porta Crochet.
You're asking the wrong person.
Trying to sort of build that up into part of the journey. Yep. And, you know, we've started to do more of that now. And then I think once you get outside and you get your golf cart and, you know, the excitement's with you again. And when you get to the driving range, you know, I know you like a good driving range. But for me, a driving range that's all grass, you can hit a driver, you can warm up properly, you know, and it's cool season grasses. It's great. I mean, that just kind of gets you into the feeling. And then just the touch points, you know, the various touch points where we have key staff in place. You know, you're always made to feel welcome and special. And And once you get playing, I mean, then you're in a world of of its own. Jack Nicklaus signature course for 5 hours, with mates it's always special. And like you say, the holes keep you interested and excited, and right the way through, you just feel like you're experiencing something special.
Yeah, I think, listen, hats off to your team. They do a great job on arrival. You've got the guys meeting you at the car. They do take your golf bag and take it to the front of the course. As you walk through, there's a couple of very friendly, welcoming people that will sort of guide you to where the pro shop is, and your team are then really on it, and they give you a good idea of what to experience and where the restaurant is in the bar area if you want to have a quick beer or whatever beforehand. You touched on the driving range. I think, from my point of view, you've got the best driving range facility by far in the Western Cape, if not in South Africa. There's a couple of good ones, definitely, but
the
links is pretty special. Yeah, the links is incredible. I mean, a similar type of thing. You've got incredible grass to hit off. That for me it ranks way up there. Stand on the driving range and be able to hit off the most incredible surface. You can't really go wrong. But it's not only the driving range. I think your chipping area and your putting area are second to none. And we're keen golfers. You drive up there. I'm not going to arrive 10 minutes before my tee time, because you first of all, you should be using the facility because you are paying a fee to be there. But you should be giving yourself an hour and a half to really make the most of it and warm up before you get to the first tee. So hats off to your guys.
I also really like our shop was. I mean, I think we've really taken time in stocking brands that, we deliberately, when purchasing stock, we try to make sure that we have what isn't available at other stores in the country, so that, the visiting golfer coming through is almost excited to come and, experience the retail offering as well at the club.
Yeah. I think it's clear you put in a lot of effort in that retail store, and it pays dividends for sure. Let's have a look at some of these golf pictures, these images. I'm just going to share a screen with you, Damo, so you can also be involved here. No, that's not the one I want to show everybody. There we go. Right. Okay. So in no particular order, has it come up on your screen now, Damo?
Yes, it has. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So in no particular order, okay, this is the first hole. It's a generous par 4, great opening hole. You can bomb driver or hit a mid iron, so nice and friendly. I love this image, actually. I've not seen this one. I saw it for the first time today. I think
that's a fairly new one. It came after some changes we did. I don't know if you'll remember the original bunker there in front of the green was a lot bigger.
Yes.
I mean, it stretched probably 50, 60 meters back from where it is now. So that's the new bunker that we created there. And it's a beautiful opening hole, a lot of space off the tee. But like many of the holes on the course, it's always the approach into the green always gets your attention. Some further work we're probably looking at doing on this hole, Warren, is just that right bunker down the whole right side of the hole. We're going to seriously look at reducing the size of that. It's really big, and it does tend to penalize the higher handicap player because it stretches quite close to the tee. So we'll just do some reshaping in that, and I think it will just further add to what's a really good opening hole.
Yeah, I think for the high handicapper, getting up and down from there is a challenge, because you're well known for your greens. They are incredible, fast, really true greens. It's a bent green, if I remember correctly.
Correct. Yeah. That is absolutely A1, A4.
Yeah, so it's a great grass, and I think your greens are 12 months of the year they're good all the time. So before we move on to the next picture, I just want to also make note. Back right of that golf hole is the hotel, which is run by the Mantis Group, and at the moment I think it's got about 40 rooms, and they are building, and I think it'll have upwards of 70 odd rooms in the future,
100%,
which is fantastic.
100%, Warren. We're currently busy with phase 2. We got some good news that we're able to continue with the construction of that from Tuesday next week. Monday they'll just be getting ready, and once phase 2 is complete, we'll have 63 single rooms and 7 2-bedroom suites,
Sure.
which would really allow us to, offer up a number of offerings to traveling golfers and groups wanting to stay and come and experience the winelands.
Yeah, I think that product is maturing. We've had some really good feedback from our golf groups. It definitely works for your PGA type of a pro group and for individual travelers who are keen on golf and who are keen on working on their golf. Pearl Valley certainly lends itself to that sort of a trip.
Yes.
Right, this is one of my favorite holes. And I think I mentioned to you earlier that I started writing down some of my favorite holes, and I got to the back nine, and like, no jokes, I'm looking at my notes and I wrote down 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 because I couldn't identify one. And then as I went from the 12th, which is a fantastic par 5, I absolutely love the hole.
Yeah.
You just go from one good hole to the other. Before you know it, you're at these holes. So tell us about these 2 holes in front of us. It's 15 and 16, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're looking at holes 7 and 8.
Oh, am I the wrong way around?
The reason why you still have that in your mind like that is that the golf course, when it was first opened, the back 9 was played as the first 9. And then they changed for the SA Open, I think, this way. No, the other way around. They changed it for the SA Open to make the 9th hole the finishing hole in front of the club. And then once the tournaments was played, they reverted back to having it the other way around. So
that's so funny that I'm still thinking of it as like way back when. Okay, so this is
7 and 8.
7 and 8. Okay, right.
And 8.
And then number 9 would be the par 5 up towards the clubhouse. Yeah.
So a lot of our members and some of our staff, they refer to this as the bear's trap. These are two very demanding holes off the tee, especially if you don't enjoy a little cut. These are probably 2 holes that really do favor a draw on the course. Most of the others favor a slight fade. So once you get out the gates here, the approach shots in are equally challenging. The 8th hole, the one we're looking at now, what you'll notice is the further you go into the green, that water kind of starts to come into play. So you've really got to make sure that you're taking enough club to fire at anything sort of back left on that green. Otherwise, you can very, very quickly come up short there, as I have many times, and I'm sure you have too.
Many times, too many to mention, which is it's still not going to stop me from coming back for more and trying again, that's for sure. But there are also 2 low stroking holes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. All right, which hole are we looking at here?
Stroke 3.
Okay. Right, what hole are we looking at?
One of my favorite holes, actually. It's in my top 3, this one.
Yeah. This is a relatively short par 4.
Yeah, you can definitely drive it on the screen. I've driven on the screen twice before, but you've got to be so precise because you've got to take driver up the right side there, and then you kind of, you've got to funnel it down through into that tight section onto the green. So it's a typical risk-reward hole, very cleverly designed hole by Jack Nicklaus. And then he really encourages you to take out the driver. If you've got any kind of thought of reaching, you're going to pull driver every time. But the prudent play is to kind of hit a 4-5 iron off the tee and then come in with a full 9-iron. You're going to make par and birdie more times. But it's a great hole. And the view back when you get to the green and you park your cart, or you kind of look back at the Simmonsburg mountain range. I mean, that for me, that view there kind of personifies Pearl Valley in my mind. I've said it many times. I love that view back there.
That's very special. So this is hole number 15, if I remember correctly.
That's 15, yeah.
Okay, now that I've switched my mind around and actually making a bit of sense. The other thing you said is the prudent play. Well, I don't know anything about prudent play, so I just smashed driver there. But in the background, so for the people who haven't been to Pearl Valley, those mountains at the back, on the left-hand side of those mountains is where the Franschhoek Valley and the Franschhoek town is. Pearl Valley is only about an hour's drive from Cape Town, and what, 20 minutes from Franschhoek town?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the, that's often what we say, we're close to the airport, we're close to Cape Town, and we're literally 15 minutes from Franschhoek. So we really are, quite central.
Mm. There's another one of the par fives. This is number 14.
Yeah.
Also really good. And it's on that stretch that I think is just great, and
Yeah.
you get 12 par five. Then you have that fantastic par three and another par five. So
the 13th hole is our signature hole. It's a very special par three.
Yeah. There's another par three. I've never seen this angle, and I really, when I looked at it for the first time this afternoon, I was like, "What? This is incredible!" Because you don't get that height, that elevation feel at Pearl Valley. It's relatively flat.
That's always been one of the things, Warren, that Robbie Marshall, who was part of the original build with Jack Nicklaus. I mean, one of the things we often say we wish could have been done more at Pearl Valley is more elevation. Because, the moment you put anything a little higher, like you say, it just really, really opens up the beauty of the course, and really shapes the hole so nicely.
Mm. So you're saying the greens are a variety of bent grass, and the fairways?
Fairways, way back when there would have been, some fescue rise and, a whole lot of combinations of Kentucky blue and things like that. And over the last sort of 10 years, we've really tried to allow the bend to be the predominant grass type with Sundowner. So our fairways now are bent Sundowner. And then, any golf course will tell you, you're always trying to fight the battle against Kikuyu. And I believe that, because, both bent and Sundowner are creepers, they kind of really give us the best chance of, keeping the Kikuyu at bay from coming in from the rough. Okay. But it has in parts, taken over some of the fescue rye that's in our rough at the moment.
Okay, cool. So this is the 18th hole.
Good finishing hole.
Yeah, very good finishing hole. I think it looks a lot tougher from the tee box, but if you do hit a good driver down there, you can knock it front right or on the green. So great closing hole. What hole is this?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, dude, can you work it out?
Let's see. I'd take a guess. I'd say it's the 18th again.
100%, buddy. It's from the 10th tee. It's actually quite a nice avenue. I mean, we thought about we did some catalog sheet on the tee, and it was just a nice afternoon, and the picture was taken or whatever. And we thought, how cool of a par three would this be? But it's a really nice, unique perspective on the 18th greens complex, because you very seldomly actually get to see that back bunker, Warren, when you're playing the hole.
True. Yeah, and I mean, and if you are going in there, very rarely are you hitting it long and left. That's for sure. A lot of guys are missing it short and right.
Hundreds.
That's a great image. I really like that one.
Yeah, me too.
That's another one of the 18th. Very clever. I like what Mark has done with the images. Looks good. I thought this was quite interesting. So when are we playing night golf at Pearl Valley?
Yeah, we've played night golf on 2 occasions, on the golf course. And, it's gone quite well, but I think, night golf for me is kind of, it's fun, it's exciting, but it's, I think floodlit night golf is the way to go. I mean, like some of the courses are doing, in Dubai and stuff. I mean, that's fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. But we don't need that in South Africa. We're very fortunate. I mean, we've got plenty hours during the day to play golf. And at night, we can get stuck into some fine dining at some of our favorite restaurants. We're talking about restaurants. You've got your restaurant at the clubhouse, which is open for guests.
Yes.
And the link with Val de Vie, is there a dining option or lunch option at Val de Vie?
We're actually very fortunate in that we've got three restaurants on the estate. We've got a Rubens Cafe. We've got a more finer dining facility at the Polo Club restaurant. And particularly in the summertime, it's lovely to do the polo brunches, have a breakfast and watch some polo being played. And then we've got our Valley restaurant here at the club, which is geared more towards golfers, residents, and hotel guests.
thought this was an awesome shot too, and the bird life at the golf course is
Yeah.
fantastic. I love that shot.
Bird life is incredible. Yeah, the nature here is incredible.
Yeah. And then this is the last shot that I'm gonna show, but this is another par 5, early in the course. I think it's 1, 2, 3. I think it's number 4 if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
So great par 5, and there's so many ways to play this this hole. Again, you're probably going to say, don't hit driver off the tee, you know. But there's so many great ways to play this golf course, and the tee boxes lend themselves to all types of golfers. So if you are a high handicapper, you know, you don't have to be concerned. You play off the front. The landing zones are pretty generous, and I'm sure you're welcoming high handicappers to play off the front and actually make the best use of the golf course.
Yeah, I mean, we've got 5 tee options, like you said, on every hole. There's 5 different, you know, courses to play. And, you know, that's one of the beauties. We always encourage, you know, players, you know, that are visiting to, you know, choose the course that suits them. And that's what's nice about the new sort of slope rating, is that it allows that, you know, it's taken that sort of, you know, you have to play from the club tee when you know you're a pro golfer, you bomb it down like you do. I mean, you want to have the course challenging you.
Yeah, I agree. So touch back on the Val de Vie link. You know, they have their own winery. In terms of a golf experience, you know, is Pearl Valley open to golf in the morning? We can go and have lunch and wine tastings on that side of the estate.
Absolutely. I think, you know, in the earlier years, you know, the team, you know, we're working hard on getting the offering to a level where they felt they could sell it, and they could have visiting golfers and visitors to the estate experience these. And I think we're there now, and we encourage it now. And in fact, we often pitch the idea of you know, exploring the estate after golf now to a lot of our tour operators. And I mean, you know yourself, I mean, we've had many discussions around, you know, just what the estate can offer to your groups. I mean, I know that you know, the fitness side is a big thing now. I mean, the fact that we can do torpedo swim runs here, and you know, we've been host to the final leg of the Absa Cape Epic. Okay. This year would have been our 3rd year. So it's really known, and it's getting quite a reputation as a lifestyle estate. You know, with all the various activities that take place here.
I mean, the estate has exploded. If you drive up there now, you know, the Val de Vie part of it, it's hundreds of houses. I don't even know what the figure is, but it must be.
I think we're like 2,000. I think we're like 2,500 homes now, and I think we'll probably get it up to like 3,500. But it's really become a community. It's become a town. You know, down the line, everything will be here. You know, schools, supermarkets, petrol stations, office space. You know, it's a place to, you know, do everything from.
Jeez, wow, 3,500. That's incredible. And as you say, I mean, it makes sense for families that are living in the Cape Town area and surrounds in the winelands. It's only an hour from the city. It is not too far from the airport, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Are you based on the estate, or are you in the winelands somewhere?
Yeah. So when we first moved here and took up the position, I had you know, a year and a half staying on a wonderful farm in Val de Vie called Valencia. I was renting from one of the sales directors, and then we made the decision to purchase in Paarl. Okay. But I'm trying to push it to come back to the estate, but in good time, you know, in good time.
Sometimes good to live a little distance away from the office, and you won't.
Yeah, it's 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute drive, and you know, sometimes you need that drive to listen to your favorite song, or you know, just get your mind sort of in gear.
Yeah, for sure. And is your little guy playing golf yet?
He actually is. Caleb is he's 5. He's turning 6 next week, and you know, he's taking lessons with Adrian, one of our PGA coaches here, and he's really taking to it nicely, I must say.
Cool, good man. So yeah, last year we had the privilege of going to the International Golf Travel Market together, which was in Marrakesh. And I think, I want to thank Pearl Valley and Val de Vie for taking that step and coming out on the trip with us. And I'm sure you would have seen, you know, that's the best way to talk about South Africa as a wine, golf, and safari destination to all the agents. You know, and I think going forward, there's so much opportunity for South Africa. Yes, at the moment, things are in a bit of turmoil and we're not really sure what's going to happen over the next couple of months.
Yeah.
But, you know, South Africa as a golf destination is right up there, if not one of the best in the world. You know, COVID's a tough one. We all have to deal with the challenges. You know, going forward, your opinions on how maybe things will change at the clubhouse in the short term and maybe the long term?
I think in the short term, you know, like most businesses, we're just going to need to, you know, adapt and be able to trade, you know, applying social distancing and just have all the safety measures in place, but, you know, not stop the economy, not stop the business from being able to generate an income. And then I think, you know, the hardest hit for us will be, you know, the ban on travel for the moment. You know, we rely quite heavily on international visitors as many companies do in the Western Cape and South Africa. So just adjusting to, you know, formulating a business model that is predominantly a local market only or local market centric business plan for this year. And then the moment that, you know, we see an ease off in the travel bans and once the COVID-19 passes, I think certainly a new normal will be identified. It's allowed us to right size our business. It's allowed us to relook at things that maybe we, you know, just kind of did all along without realizing that, you know, there's a better way to do it and maybe you can save money by doing it a different way. So we've really used the time wisely to look at our business model as a whole. And, you know, I think that positives will come from this, but at the time, you know, we're in at the moment, you know, yes, it's easy to say stay positive and remain positive, but it's a very, very sort of unprecedented time full of uncertainty. So we just got to try and adapt. In the moment that we're given any kind of lifts on restrictions and bans, you trade. That's what you do.
No, absolutely. I mean, the golf course is going to be in impeccable condition.
Yes, I'll tell you, Warren, I mean, because normally we would have holiday in April. Yeah. So, you know, originally we thought we were going to be in lockdown for 3 weeks, you know, and come out of it and there we'd go again, not realizing, you know, that it would be much longer. So, you know, we actually made the call not to holiday and, you know, we've got a machine called an Air 2 G2 and, you know, the practices we follow here are good. So, you know, the course it could actually have survived not doing a holotieing, and that's why we've pushed it out to September. But to see, you know, all the divots close up, all the pitch marks close up. I mean, it's, you know, I've been coming in with a small crew to cut the course and things, and you look at these greens and they're like impeccable, and you're like, I don't want a pitch mark, man. I don't want to see a damaged spot on the green. But I mean, you realize just, you know, the golf courses take abuse, you know, especially through seasons when you're doing 4,000, you know, rounds of golf in a month, you know, 5,000 rounds. It's, think about how many balls are coming into that green, you know, it's crazy. Sure.
So you're doing upwards of 40,000 rounds a year.
So we did, when I started, yeah, they were pushing on the door of 38,000, and part of our strategic objective was to bring that down because we were losing our exclusivity and our premium feel. You know, the course was never built to do rounds like that, especially with our grass types. So we've managed to bring it down to just under 32,000, with the ultimate goal of bringing it into, you know, the 20s, 28, 29,000. And, you know, we really want to have a look at our model and see how we can, you know, working with our members and residents, almost, you know, get to a stage where we don't need to rely so heavily on outside trade and international trade to become more self-sustainable.
Okay. Well, listen, that makes sense. And I think, you know, we want our golfers to play the course. So yeah, I know you look after the tour operators though. So that's all good.
And that's exactly, you're spot on. I mean, that's a massive part of our strategy is to work more closely with, you know, the likes of Explore More Travel and the, you know, the tour operators where, you know, it's your business, it's your livelihood. And, you know, rather use the avenue of, you know, if you want to come and play Pearl Valley, you've got to go through a tour operator. And it's not only any tour operator, it's a tour operator that we have a relationship with, a tour operator that we trust. And, you know, between tour operators and the hotel, we really view that as an avenue moving forward for visiting golfers that want to come and play our facility.
Cool. Yeah, and our goal is obviously to have guys or groups come and stay for a little longer. So don't just make it a 1 or 2 nighter, because the facilities are that good. And I'm a big fan of having guests play the course twice. I think too many international guests just fly in and play a couple of courses and then fly out. And the trips are like whirlwind experiences. So if we can have them stay at the hotel for 3 nights, play the course twice, I think that's awesome, you know, because after playing the course once, I know from my perspective, I want to get out there and play it again. You know, I don't want to get in the bus and go to the next one. So, So, yeah, very cool. And I know you've got some great domestic deals, you know, in the next couple of months. Hopefully in the next few weeks, the guys will be able to get out there and play some golf. I am certainly looking forward to getting out there. And first of all, just to see you guys again. It's been a while. But yeah, you got good domestic deals coming up. The golf experience, will you have it pretty much as normal, or are you going to have a different setup for check-in, limit the interactions, etc.? What are you doing on the golf course? Anything interesting?
Yeah, 100%, Warren. So what we'll do is we won't take a lot away from the experience. We'll have, you know, separate check-in stations for visiting golfers, separate check-in stations for members, just to keep, the social distancing in place. A lot of the facilities, of course, will be closed, during the phase 1, opening and launch of golf again. But, I think what we're really going to try and do, and what's part of our plan, Warren, is to make it more about the golf course, more about the playing of the course as the experience. So a lot of the touch points will be, strategically placed prior to teeing off, during the round and after the round. A lot more will be done to touch the golfers, not necessarily in the physical touch, but, we'll message them prior to tee off, message them after tee off, create an engagement with them through dialogue, and, try to affirm, within their minds that they made the right choice to come and play at our facility, even at a time like this where it's kind of cold and, very much about, distancing yourself.
I mean, I think I know the guys in Cape Town are itching to get out there and play golf. So as soon as we're given the green light, I think you're going to have guys queuing up at a safe distance, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, so, I mean, the courses that have opened up in the UK have said, their tee sheets have been overly subscribed, and it just shows you, golf isn't just a game. It's a lifestyle. It's a way of life for many people. It takes you into places where not a lot of other things can give you what golf gives you.
No, I agree, man. We are super excited to get out there and play again. Are you going to limit it to 2 balls? Or are you thinking just keep the social distancing?
So for me, like, golf isn't 2 balls. Golf isn't a game that's supposed to be played in 2s. But we'll, at this moment in time, Warren, we'll take whatever they give us. If it's 1 balls, if it's just homes, if it's just families, if it's just whatever, just let us get out there. Let us play, because golf is safe. Surfing is safe. I mean, don't.
I agree.
I
agree. Now, there's a couple of silly things happening out there, and the fact that you can't go walk in the forests and walk on the beach, it's just getting a bit crazy. Yeah. So, but saying that, I don't envy being in the position of any government. they've got to make some tough decisions. Man. Seriously, tough. But we're ready. I think that's the bottom line. We're ready to welcome guests, be it local, be it international. And we're just going to ride this wave and make changes where need be. South Africa is such a great destination for international visitors, be it for anything, wine, golf, adventure, you name it. So we're pretty excited to get cracking again.
And your feel as to when South Africa could expect to see the sort of first influx of international guests to our shores.
Yeah, I mean, we've discussed it at length. Europe is opening up. I think, they're taking some good positive steps forward. The pressure's on, especially going into the European summer. Europeans are not going to sit at home. They love traveling. Yes, they will do some domestic travel, but they want to go and visit other countries in and out of Europe. So my feeling is, and bear in mind, you're talking to the optimists of optimists. I think November or so we'll start seeing some internationals come in. If we can get some positive news out of Europe and the rest of the world, and keep in mind that some of the Southern African countries are opening up. I think the pressure is going to be on South African government to make some positive changes. And if we all need to abide by a new set of regulations when it comes to looking after clients, well, then so be it. And we definitely need it. So my bet is the early part of November, which is great because we have a ton of potential business on the cards for December, January, February, March. And ideally we want to try and save, as much of that business as possible and offload it to the golf courses because we really need it. Winter's always a tough patch for golf tour operators, but I'm feeling pretty confident about November or so. So hopefully I'm right.
I like it. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling you. I'm feeling you on that one, I must say.
Cool. Awesome. Damian, listen, it's been so cool to chat to you. We go way back. I think I'm super chuffed and proud of your growth in the golf industry. You and your team, because you've got a great team, are doing an excellent job at Pearl Valley. So we seriously looking forward to getting out there and seeing you soon.
Thanks, Warren. Thank you. Thanks for all of your support, and thanks for what you do for us as well.
No, it's a pleasure. We're looking forward to getting out there, getting our clients to experience Pearl Valley and the hotel and Val de Vie firsthand. So, Damian, thanks again, my bud. Have an awesome evening.
Have a good evening, and cheers to you.
Hopefully on the golf course, man.
You go well.
Cheers, Damian. Thanks, buddy. Cheers.